It's going.
Says it's recording.
Perfect. All right. Well, good morning here at KM Activities, YouTube channel, home for the comments. I'm Joel McCall. I don't even know if you could see me with my camera on, but we have Coach Swanson with us. Joel Swanson, he's the head coach for the Kasson Mantorville Comet football team. Coach, thank you very much for joining me this morning. Appreciate it.
Morning. Thank you.
Well, we get to talk all about New Prague. What a game you guys had last Friday. I know I got to sit down and watch it with some hot chocolate, and my goodness, I was quite entertained for sure. You guys went up there, ended up winning 23-20. It was a good back and forth game, though, Coach. And, you knew going into this, it was going to be a great battle.
Yeah, I agree. And like you say, it was back and forth. Nobody was ever ahead by more score. They scored first, then we scored, then we went ahead, and they tied it back and forth. And fortunate to come out on the right end. Our offense took it down and set us up in good field goal position to win the game.
Well, Matt Donovan's really growing as a quarterback right before your eyes, Coach. I mean, talk about his decision making and especially that big fourth down conversion.
Well, the biggest thing I'd say is, last week was really his first experience. Last year he was hurt. He got in for just a little bit and stuff. And so you can say what you want about having experience at younger levels and in other sports, but so really that was his first time. And here we had what, 3 practices, and then now he's, like you say, he feels more comfortable. He's definitely a student of the game. He understands what to get into, what to get out of for plays and stuff, and he's just really growing in a lot of ways. And he's very calm about it too. He has a calmness about him that I believe spreads to the other players.
Well, and you're really finding a one running back too, an A guy where you could go to him much like you had last year because Anthony Moe Tucker is running the ball really hard and he's gaining those extra yards. I mean, that one, he was dragging defenders for a good 4 or 5 yards as well.
Well, I think we got a good mixture of different types of runners that bring different things. Jackson Kennedy's definitely a pounder that's falling forward. Anthony Moe Tucker has the ability, like you say, to drag people and then go long ways. And even when Brooks Buchanan was in there, he is more of a lightning type of person that can go right away and hit the cutback hole and stuff. So it's a good combination of things. And really, based on what the defense is doing, can kind of determine which one's going to be the most successful when they all have positives and we all appreciate each one, just like we talk about with our wings, or we call them our H's, and how they have to be able to sacrifice things. And then when people start planning to take away our dive back, then they're going to be opened up. Like we think back to last year, Easton Knoll never touched the ball in the first 3 games, and then all of a sudden Easton Knoll's got big play, big play, big play for the next 3 or 4 games, and then people have to plan to stop him. So it's really an unselfish type of offense where you have to be ready for your opportunities, and you can't just make, like, say, tonight I'm going to be the big guy. You can't do it and stuff. Just like out at receivers, they're blocking. All of a sudden, they're leaving us one-on-one and even leaving that receiver alone. And then Jace Bigelow hopefully will have, the big game. And that's what you have to be willing to do.
Well, and let's talk about Bigelow on the other side, though, because New Prague really tried to attack your secondary, and they were really trying to go over the top and get those one-on-one opportunities. Your secondary played very well, though, and limiting those completions.
Well, we knew they had a lot of athletic guys back there, and we hadn't seen much throwing. In fact, about the beginning of the second quarter, they went to a whole different look that they had used in years past and kind of scrapped their original part, except down by the goal line and stuff. And so it was a lot of trying to adjust on the fly and things. And we counted like 4 key times where we could have had it just as easily had a turnover where there's a batted ball, or it goes off our guys' hands right into their guys' hands in a key situation for a first down and stuff. And we'll have those opportunities again, and hopefully we can take the ball away. Maybe then they were kind of throwing with confidence because there were some small windows in there, like you say, even on our other side where we had the younger corners, the Dvorak and the Smith boy. The pass is perfect. It's right there, and the guy makes the catch and stuff. I can't fault them. And like we went back and we said there's probably 4 plays we'd like to have back to try to get turnovers, and there's 4 plays that they made: a 30-yard run, a 35-yard touchdown where the guy caught it. It could just as easily have been a pick, and then they had that 70-yard pass. And really, I mean, otherwise, the guys did a pretty decent job back there. Like we say, they had a lot of playmakers, and their quarterback was gaining confidence. He didn't even play in their first game that we saw him, and then he threw maybe 4 passes in the second game. But I was impressed with him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about the game-winning drive. You had to put something together. It's 20-20. You march down the field and get yourself into scoring position with a field goal. What a luxury to have a 5-star recruit in Aaron Winkle too, because I mean, I think it was a 30-some yarder, and he could have, the guy's range is about 50. I mean, you wouldn't want to put him in his hands for a 50-yarder for a game winner. I don't know if you want to do that yet, Coach, but you get down there. It was a great drive by the offense, and then Winkle was nice and cool and calm and hit the field goal for the game winner.
Well, and leading up to it, it was kind of unfortunate that they had a young man get hurt, and so you want to talk about icing a kicker, and there's 2 other parts because we've had different guys trying to do things and stuff, and that is the snapper. That was probably our Kean Smith took over the snapping on the extra point, and that was probably his best snap of season so far. And then along with it is the holder, and sometimes you forget about that. And Kyler Kuyat's new to it and stuff. And for all 3 parts to happen, as well as the protection, because earlier in the game they had blocked our first extra point by coming off the edge and stuff. So it truly takes all of them to be able to do it. And then, as a kicker, if you don't have confidence in those parts of it, you're kind of weary about your own self and stuff, and be able to block that all off. Yep, great deal. We're just fortunate that our kids came through.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and as you said, it's good that you talk about the snapper and the holder, because again, it's not like Madden football where it's every snap is perfect. That just doesn't happen in real life. And so, yeah, as you said, those special teamers making the special play to get you to 2-0. Now, we talked 2 weeks ago about how adapt and just figuring things out almost on the fly, because you guys come back, then you had 3 practices, then you go to your first game. Here you were, okay, we're playing Albert Lee. You're playing Albert Lee. You're not going to play Albert Lee now, Coach. So you've had to adapt again and go with the change. And now you have a different opponent who's 3-0. Albany's pretty solid too. So now you guys are going to play on the neutral field, and this is the times we live in. Obviously, tremendous change all the time. At least you had practice yesterday, and now you get to have that opponent coming up on Friday. So I guess my question really is what do you know about him, and how do you figure out what to do coming up for Friday when you only got 3 practices to go again?
Well, you just feel fortunate to be able to again have the game, because a lot of people are still looking for games as the things happen. I know then, like, Winona was supposed to play Albert Lee, found out on Thursday, ended up playing a game on Saturday against an opponent. Here's the whole thing. Each team is in the same situation. So even though we've only got three days or whatever, the short time, and we've never played them, they're in the same boat. They've never played against us either. So everybody's in equal grounds. We're meeting at a neutral site. You don't have the luxury of buildings or anything like that and stuff, is what happens in this era and stuff. And you just got to be able to adjust and adapt. You can't harp on the negatives of things, and you just have to feel fortunate to even have the opportunity. Yes, what a great program the Albany football team has been throughout the past 25, 30 years. And they are very successful. But like I tell the kids, we're doing very well ourselves and stuff. And so they've got to bring just as much to the table. They are a 3A school, but they are a large 3A school, and we're considered a small 4A school. We're almost equal in size and stuff. So it's just a great matchup. And we're fortunate that our athletic directors, Mr. Trinan, was able to line up a site and line up the game and get the whole thing even possible.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. And I get to cover it then. I'm even more excited for that I get to be there and we'll be on KM activities for the football game. I'm sure there'll be times where I'm going to ask you a lot more questions when it comes to Albany. You can give me a history lesson on their program and how things are going. But overall, for the Kasson Comets, you sit at 2-0. You got a football game coming up on Friday night. Things are looking good, right?
Things are looking good. Just feel fortunate to be able to still be able to participate at this time.
For sure. Well, we're going to have Coach on probably for the pregame again, if I can round him up for an interview prior to the football game on Friday night. Looking forward to it, Coach. Thanks again for all your time and appreciate it very much.
Thank you, and thanks for all the support. Good luck to all the others participating in things.
Yeah, we'll have volleyball coming up on Thursday. That's against Wabasha Kellogg. 7:15 is the start time for that. That's a non-conference game. If you haven't heard, the Minneota match that was supposed to take place on Saturday has been canceled. So we have two activities going on this week with volleyball on Thursday with Wabasha at Home Federal Arena in the Kasson High School. And then we'll have the Comets taking on Albany up in Hopkins here on KM Activities. I'm Joel McCall for Mr. Swanson. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay. The recording will be saved in Joel Swan. Oh, okay.